Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Before we get started, I'm going to share one thing. We have 3 items on our executive session agenda tonight, and we anticipate it being a very long night. And so I'm going to ask that there are several items that are on our agenda for informational purposes. And if possible, if you have questions that can go back to the committee or to the administrator who is submitting that information, please hold your questions for that. If you need to ask a question, I'm not saying don't ask questions. That's not what I'm saying. But just think that through. And we have 2 action items and several information items. So with that, I will entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Also move.
And here's
I'll second that.
Here's John. I got it. Or no, I heard Joe. Joe? And Greg. Okay. So I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And to note that John is not on yet, he's running a little bit late. Second one, action on the minutes from February 23rd, 2026.
I move to approve the minutes for the regular meeting held on February 23rd, 2026.
We have a motion from Tracy, second from Ed. Any questions on the minutes? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oh, there he is. Opposed, same sign. Welcome, John.
Hey, guys.
And can you hear us okay?
Yep, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
I would entertain an action on vouchers for March 9th, 2026.
I move to approve the general checking account vouchers totaling $434,536.28 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion, Tracy, a second from Rick. Any questions on the voucher? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are on to the student council reports from Brady tonight.
Hello, my name is Brayden. I'm the student council representative chosen to speak tonight. First up, we have some athletic achievements. Ava Kuvara scored 100 points during the hockey season. Colin Branch and Nayeli Keelan both scored 1,000 points during the basketball season. Nayeli also broke the record for most amount of threes made and most amount of assists in one season. Girls basketball made it to sectional finals and unfortunately lost to Elko. Colson Pernod qualified for swimming state in the 50-yard freestyle. Colson was the fastest 9th grade qualifier in Division 1 and 2. At the wrestling team state tournament, we were eliminated first round by for FBLA. 34 members competed at regionals held at DeForest High School. Our chapter received first place in the region for our community service projects like the soft drive and the book collection. Some other top finishers at the regionals were Jake Billhorn, Parker Haas, Sawyer Kaplan, Maya Raby, Kate Connery, Emma Watt, Kate Wheeler, and Carter Bainford. We also have 8 state qualifiers from our FBLA chapter who will compete at the state competition in April. They are Emily Mallon, Max Olson, Lily Patel, Ava McDonald, Gracelyn Vallejo, August Burke, Brady Dorsey, and Ben Lewis. The Red Hawk Robotics State Competition is coming up in April. The Fishing Club, they were the only team in the state to win 2 qualifier tournaments, one of them being the regional state. The team finished 17th out of 92 teams at the state tournament. The Milton High School fishing team was also recognized as one of the top 3 teams in the state this season. A team of 12 artists came in 7th as a group and had several artists who qualified individually for state with their artwork. The qualifiers were Shiana Lee, Waldena Dort, Cassandra Levine, Kate Connery, Maya Rady, Jessica Sanchez, and Abby Wall. Some spring sports that will start up on April 2nd. Track will start April 6th, and will be boys and girls golf. On the 7th, tennis, girls softball, girls lacrosse, and girls softball. For student council, some things we're trying to do is we're planning for Teacher Appreciation Week. We're looking for ways to highlight spring sports, especially since it's going to be such a short season. We'll start prepping elections for next year. This includes visiting the middle school. And hopefully we'll have a chance to help promote the Unity Team track meet this spring. That's all I have. Any questions?
Thanks for being here.
Public, I forgot, is there any public comment? None? Okay, thank you. Superintendent update.
A couple things that I want to add. Braden stole some of my thunder with some of our recognition of the great things happening with our activities and athletics programs. There are a couple of things that I was trying to check them off on my list as he was mentioning them, so I apologize if I repeat any that he said, but I'll try to just update on ones that he didn't already share. Our 6th through 8th grade academic bowl finished in 2nd place overall in the recent competition, so congratulations to them. Gymnast Annie Cole won the junior division all-around bronze medal in the Junior Olympics, competing against top gymnasts from across the entire country. So congratulations to Annie on that. We had a number of music students perform and advance to the state level in band and choir and solo and ensemble. 21 qualifiers from our band program and another 12 qualifiers from the choir program. So congratulations to our musicians. Brady mentioned that the boys wrestling team advanced to the state tournament. Our girls wrestling team were the state champions for the 2nd consecutive year, and we had 3 individual state champions. Freshman Brody Lewis and sophomore Gage Gross were both boys wrestling state champs. Congratulations to both of them. And Madeline Peach, the girls division, was 3-time state champs. So congratulations to all of those state champions and to all of our student athletes and students in our different activities and clubs who are doing an outstanding job. The one other thing that I wanted to highlight is coming up this week on Thursday. The Milton Area Chamber of Commerce has its annual Night with Stars, and the School District of Milton will be recognized as the large employer of the year. So we're excited and honored for that recognition, and looking forward to that event on Thursday.
Thank you. Moving on to the superintendent hiring committee update. There are just a couple of things that we worked through in the last couple of weeks. We've been working on the selection of our first-round candidates, which we hope to complete tonight. We've worked on the development of a draft contract, finalized the scheduling for first-round interviews, the day in the district, and then the final round interviews. Invites have gone out to the different groups, highlighting their time when they can come to meet for final candidates. That's what I have. There was anything. Next, we're up to finance committee.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna wait for even else to come up. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the health sciences update. The finance committee met on Monday, March 2nd and discussed 2 agenda items. First item was a review of the healthcare sciences project recommendation. The committee received an update on the work completed to date. I would like to thank Mr. Shantz, Mr. Billhorn, and everyone who has been actively engaged in this project, moving this project forward. Administration informed the committee that 3 general contractors participated in the pre-construction planning process and were subsequently provided with the construction documents for formal pricing. After receiving all 3 proposals, the bids were reviewed in collaboration with the project architect. Based on that review, the recommendation being presented this evening is to move forward with J.P. Cullen, the low bidder.
Mr. Shantz will walk the board through the project details. However, it is important to highlight that the total project cost is currently projected at $717,041, significantly below the initial estimate of $970,000, while maintaining the planned structure and design of the space. The committee is recommending approving the proposed motion this evening for the high school healthcare sciences renovation project with J.P. Cullen in the amount of $581,952. Now, turn that over to Steve.
Thank you, Tracy. As summarized, the project details really haven't changed on large scope from when it was preliminarily presented to the board. So what we did in the development of the construction documents was really just develop the fine details of the project. And I can speak for Mr. Gilhorn too, that what we're presenting for the project, really is all encompassing to serve the program for many years to come. I thought Jeremy shared something really neat that we're pretty much full up on scheduling for those classes for next year, which is also really awesome too. And the pricing for the project came in much better than preliminarily we were expecting. So that all-in number, including still yet to be developed, complete AV system for our simulation lab, the revised A&E fee, which is again a percent of the construction, a percent of the construction cost, and 8% construction contingency is what the additional funds are on top of the $581,952 price from Cullen. Cullen is also able to meet our timeline, which is for us to turn that space over to Cullen for beginning of renovation starting June 1st, and they would turn it back over to us August 17th. So then being able to meet that construction timeline, review with the architect team, the number was complete. That would be a definite recommendation from us here tonight. And just one more thing to recap too, since the capital maintenance plan was reviewed and approved by the board a couple meetings ago, this is now an eligible expense from Fund 46, as we discussed preliminarily as well. So,
See, just a quick comment and really a question to reflect back to this. So for those that are listening at home, the savings that we're introducing is just from hard work on Mr. Gilhorn's behalf. It's not, we're not cutting any corners, we're doing everything that we want. Just really good business work on your guys.
Yeah, 100%. The savings aren't through any value engineering efforts or things like that. Everything that's part of the project is the utmost standards we would expect it to be. And we really had a really complete set of documents that the contractors had really a lot of confidence in when putting the numbers together, which also helped with our favorable number. Go on.
I would entertain a motion to approve the renovation.
I'll move to approve the high school healthcare sciences renovation project with J.P. Cullen in the amount of $581,952. Project total including construction costs, architect and engineer fee, construction contingency, and budget for revised AV system is $717,041.
Second.
A motion from Tracy, a second. Joe, any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposing? Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you.
The second item on the agenda was the transportation update. The committee received a report from Mr. McPherson regarding the district's unusually hazardous transportation UHT plan. Mr. McPherson informed the committee that the district has been in discussions with traffic analysis and design of Cedarburg, Wisconsin to conduct a comprehensive UHT analysis and develop an updated plan. The current plan was last reviewed during the 2019-2020 timeframe. An updated assessment is needed to ensure the district's transportation determinations remain current and aligned with best practices. Additional details regarding this work are outlined in the attached memorandum, and Ross is here to provide further information and respond to any questions from the board.
Thank you. So as Tracy mentioned, and partly reflected in the memo, districts are required to have a UHT or unusually hazardous transportation plan per state statute. But by the same state statutes, all district buses transport students who are within 2 miles from their home school building, Independence area. The UHT plan is to identify any areas within that 2-mile radius where there is an area deemed unusually hazardous. What we're aiming to do with working with Taddy and through this discussion is to identify what hazards still exist, as there has been some development in the Milton area in the last 10 years that has not been updated at this point. And we're going to be working with them over about a 12-week period to do some work with local officials, police department, just to update that plan as necessary. That's the update. Okay.
Thank you for the annual update. On to the governance committee, Ed.
Executive, as you all recall, we have been working with administration to update the strategic plan. Last Monday, I believe it was, they came forward with their first draft of some new goals. As you know, some of the goals we have have expired or are outdated. So put together 5 different, and there are quarters, so put together 5 different goals, and those are presented to you tonight. This is not an action item. This is strictly for review. We won't ask for action on it. This gives you a chance to read through them, digest them, and offer feedback. If there's anything else that you would like to ask the board?
Just when we met with the governance committee, they provided some good, had some good questions, provided some feedback, and made some edits to the original draft that we had for goals and focus areas. So the included memo has included a draft of the goal for each of the 5 pillars and a handful of focus areas. So we'll bring those back on April 13th, is the first board meeting in April. Bring those back for action, discussion, and possible action at that time. If there is anything that folks would like changed or edits or questions, definitely reach out either now or between now and that first meeting in April.
Rich, did they reach out to you, or is the person who is responsible for that particular goal?
I think probably to me would be easiest, and then I can coordinate with the lead of each of the 5 pillars.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Just one comment. I read through them quickly, and I wanted to thank the committee and the admin folks. I think it bears mentioning, and I know I heard it from Rich last meeting. The goals are all developed such that they're already in the format that would fit a SMART goal, because we're going to go back and put a metric on these goals and be able to measure our success or lack thereof or whatever. So thank you for that. I think it's very succinct and streamlined, and if in fact we adopt these goals in much the same format they're offered, I think it'll be very easy to align them with some metrics that we can measure ourselves on. So well done. Thank you for putting it in such an easy to use format.
Thank you, Ed. We'll move on to the Human Resources Committee. Rick?
All right, thanks for that. The HR committee met last week on March 4th. First item on the agenda is discussion and possible action on 2025-26 additional ID teacher FTE at Northside. As outlined in the memo, there is a need to increase staffing at Northside for the guided flight program, formerly known as the ID program. This program is seeing an increase in the number of students with needs in this area. Administration does not believe that this is going to be a one-time spike. Additional students are projected to advance into Northside over the next several years. The plan is to add this new staff member as soon as possible and then have them continue into next school year. Adding this staff number now will give the new staff a chance to take this year to get to know the students, their needs, and how best to help them. Chris or Rich, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Chris, anything else in addition to that?
Nope.
We do have that as a action item for tonight, because then if approved by the board, then we can get that position posted and get started with the hiring process.
I'll make a motion to approve the additional 1.0 FTE ID teacher at Northside Intermediate School, getting as soon as possible and then continuing into the 26-27 school.
Second.
I have a motion from Rick and a second from Mike. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Next item we have on the agenda is the 2026-27 staff compensation timeline. Attached in board docs is the anticipated timeline for the upcoming school year. This document should look familiar as it is very similar to what has been done in past years. Timeline lists projected dates for all of our different employee groups. We are planning to start negotiations with teachers. Chris, anything to add to that? Nope. Any questions? Okay, more to come on that topic. Next item is 2627 benefit elections for married employees, dental, and cash in lieu of health insurance. This topic is a continuation of information that was presented to the board on February 9th. Since that meeting, the administration has gathered information from other Badger Conference districts, and this information is included in the memo. In summary, a majority of the districts do not allow staff to take dual dental coverage. Fewer districts offer the cash in lieu of health insurance for the married couples. Based on this information, the administration and HR are bringing some recommendations forward to the board. Married employees currently enrolled in dual family dental coverage and or the cash in lieu of health insurance segment may continue their current benefit elections. Effective July 1st, 2026, employees would not have access to newly elected family dental insurance plans or elected a cash in lieu segment in place of health insurance when their spouse carries district-provided family health insurance coverage. These elections are waived after July 1st, 2026, so there will be no option to reinstate these benefits in the future. The committee feels that this approach is consistent with how some of the Badger Conference schools have transitioned. It also maintains the benefits that staff members have elected when they were hired with the district, but establishes clear parameters for future hires. This information is being presented tonight for information only in order to give board members a chance to ask questions if necessary. The plan would be to bring it back on April 13th, possible action. Chris, anything to add?
Nothing to add, Rick.
Okay.
I think I just want to make sure that the board members, when that comes back as an action item on April 13th, that you do have a chance to ask any questions between now and then and understand the proposal. So as Rick described it, it's maintaining that benefit for people that are currently have that benefit, but sunsetting it for future employees for both of the two benefits that we discussed.
And some questions on this one, do you want them to go to Chris, to you?
Last item on the agenda is 2627 health insurance wage plan options. Excuse me. This topic is also a continuation from the February 9th meeting. On February 25th, the health plan that the district know about rate increases for the coming year, which is 9.9% the health savings account plan and 13.9% for the health reimbursement rate. Administration and the HR committee are recommending that the district increase the district payments by 9.9% for both the HSA and HRA plans for the upcoming year. This will result in employees enrolled in HRA plan to have a higher employee premium contribution due to the HRA renewal increase of 13.9%. This topic is also being presented for information only. Bring it back to the board on April 13th for possible action. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Chris Ross to go over the information charts and board docs, please. Okay.
All right, all right. Okay, thanks, Rick. Wanted to make sure that we were hitting on the main point of sustainability. So if you recall, for the last 2 years, we have had 9.9% increases for both the HRA and the HSA because our plans have been pooled together. Now, this is the first year that the plans are separated. And so in the memo, what we tried to capture here is what is that amount, what do the amounts look like for employer premium contributions? So looking at table 1, this is what we pay for our staff right now today. And then as Rick shared with those with 9.9 for the HSA and 13.9 renewal for the HRA, that translates into approximately $560,000 in new money that we are going to be paying Dean Health Insurance. And you'll see that
table 2 reflects that increase. That's just the increase. And then based off of table 3, the 26-27 employer contributions, what is that total dollar amount that the board will be paying for staff members' premiums? Okay, so this memo is focusing around what does the board pay for employee premiums. This does not reflect what the employees pay. And Ross will touch base on that on the attachment that's included with them. Any questions regarding the table?
I want to highlight one thing. I think it was alluded to, Chris had shared that this is the first year that the two plans, the HRA and the HSA, are separated. They've been separated as far as a percent, different percent increases for each of the two plans, and that is a process that Dean has decided to use. That isn't something that we asked them to do, but we can understand why they want to do that, because the medical loss ratio of the two plans are very, very different from each other. So this is the first year that we've got separate percent increases from Dean with two separate plans rather than one single percent increase that both plans would live under. And in that table 2, that takes into account a 9.9% increase for each of the two plans. So one of the things that we've talked about with the HR committee and with the benefits advisory group is using the lowest percent increase of the two plans, which would be the 9.9%, as the increase on the district's contribution for both plans. So going from table 1 to table 2 in the projection for next year, that would be taking a 9.9% increase to each of those plans. And that's our proposal that we'll be bringing for discussion of possible action at the next board meeting. Ross, you want to look at that a little bit more?
Sure. So Chris referenced a couple of tables in that memo, and in the second attachment in board docs tonight is the tables behind the tables. The very bottom of the 3 tables, 1, 2, and 3, are listed there, but the top portion, I think we want to spend a little more time. It directly outlines what the current total premium costs are for the current school year, 25-26, single and family for both plans. The math on this page demonstrates what would happen under both premium increase scenarios. So we know that HSA is coming in at 9.9 and HRA is at 13. There's 3 columns listed for HRA, and I want to look them up real briefly. The first column indicates the true real cost of 13.9% on that total premium. And were we to continue our current contribution levels, 85% district paid and 15% employee paid, the amount below would be in play. The second column identifies, which is part of our proposal, what would the district contribution look like if we only moved our portion of 9.9%, leaving a higher premium contribution for the employee if they stay in the HRA plan. And at the bottom right of that table shows some backwards math just to show what that effective premium contribution would look like under that scenario. And because of the 13.9 and they got the way they ended up looking at about 82% district and 18% employee. That was coincidental, just the way the math worked out that time, but that does demonstrate the increase in district contribution, which is designated in green numbers on that page, and the employee portion in orange. Questions on that?
Ross or Chris, I've got a question if you guys can hear me.
Yep.
Could you just remind me or remind us or those that are listening, maybe just look at the family plan, the deductible for the HSA and the seed money we do, and then the deductible for the HRA, and then how that reimbursement works. Could you just run through those numbers too?
So the deductible for the single and the family plan are slightly different, so that's why I was turning my head back here. The HSA is 3,000, 6,000. HRA is 28.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so HSA is, I believe it's got a $6,000 deductible.
Yes.
So 3,000 and 6,000 for the deductible, John,
Single family.
and it's for the single and family. And then it's, hold on one second, we're just verifying to be absolutely sure here.
27, 2750
$5,500 for a family and $2,750 for a single.
And I would
That
say-
was the deductible for the HRA, or that's the seed money for
That's
the HSA?
For the HRA.
Okay, so back on the HSA, $3,000, $6,000 deductible. What do we do for seed money on that at the start? Throughout the year.
So
Is that
that is for a family, it's $5,500 for a family, and then $2,750 for a single.
You want to also explain to people listening what John means by seed money? People might not understand what that is
Okay,
referring to.
so when John references seed money, he's referencing a HSA contribution that the school district of Milton puts in. Looking at the 5,500 is what it contributes towards an HSA for a family plan. And that amount, if the person is working year-round, it's spread out over 24 payrolls. If that person is a school year employee, it's spread out over 20 payrolls. So that amount is made directly to the employee's HSA account. And once that deposit is made, it's the employee's funds. So we try to work really closely if somebody leaves to make sure that we are not putting additional funds towards that. So when we talk about seed money, it's HSA contributions. For the HRA, that dollar amount is set aside for reimbursement if a person incurs those medical expenses up to that deductible amount. So it really is dependent on the individual per year. What we do as an employer, we set it aside, and if the person needs it, it's available. If they don't, that money stays with the district. It does not get paid to the employee. Does that answer your question?
Yep, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Any other, I see it.
So which one is going to be presented under the HRA? Are we looking to cap it, or is that what we're going to be discussing?
We're looking to cap the district contribution at a 9.9% increase in the premiums for both plans.
Thank you.
So the dollar amount for those increases would be the dollar amounts from table 2 in the memo or from the second to the bottom table on the other presentation. So you can see that at a 9.9% increase, the district's contribution to the premium is going to be higher for the HRA for both single and family than it is for the HSA, that increase and the overall amount. All of our benefits eligible employees have an option of choosing either the HRA or the HSA for their insurance plan. And every year it seems that we have more, since we've offered the two options, we have more and more people moving from or choosing the HSA compared to the HRA. But right now, of the people on one of those two plans, it's about 50-50. Right now.
Any other? Thank you. I know it's very complicated and appreciate the tables. All right, we move on to new business. Ross, you're next. Oh, we're on the new business. Ross McPherson, discussion possible action on resolution authorizing the transfer of funds.
Yes. So about a month ago, we had Kevin Mullen here from Bayer to discuss our current debt plan regarding defeasing future funding in the capital referendum for 2019. And we are proposing another resolution for tonight to defease approximately just under $4.3 million of money already identified in our capital referendum fund. This would not be additional funding for tonight. It's the money already identified for debt defeasance. We got our final resolution paperwork today, and in the attachment for tonight and on screen right now, I believe, is a summary of the final defeasance that were put forward. So for about $4.275 million, we're going to be taking away about 1 full year's of payment and then some to defease, and we'll be taking about another year off the current debt schedule, which is fantastic. And once this money is put into escrow and set aside, we are going to be saving approximately $1.537 million in interest for future budget referendum. So good news for us.
Ross, real quick, is anything different from what we were presented with, on the schedule at the last meeting?
The amount is the same, but the final borrowing costs and the interest savings projections have been updated slightly. So it's not substantially different, same amount of money.
On that note, I'll move to approve the resolution authorizing the transfer of funds, the establishment of an escrow account with respect to and the defeasance of certain of the general obligation refunding bonds dated July 31st, 2019.
Second.
I'm gonna give it to, John. Thank you. So motion from Tracy, a second from John. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A few things to sign.
I heard. There's a few things.
Thank you.
All right, we're on to miscellaneous. I would entertain a motion on the second report.
Make a motion to approve the staff report presented.
Second.
I'm going with Jen. I'm not sure who I heard first. A motion from Rick, a second from Jen. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Any questions for Ross on the monthly financial report? Again, thank you for sharing those. I always find them really interesting. Appreciate that. On to action of recent donations.
I'll move to approve the gifts and donations with gratitude.
I'll second that.
A motion from Tracy, a second from Rick. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Do you have any meeting dates?
We have a couple upcoming meetings. I had mentioned that Thursday of this week, March 12th, is the Milton Area Chamber of Commerce Night with the Stars dinner. We have some board members there on that, so we will post that as a meeting. That is a 5:30 check-in time and 6:15 dinner begins. Monday, March 30th is a special board meeting at 6:30 here in the PDC. Wednesday, April 1st is a HR committee meeting at 2 o'clock in the first floor conference room. Tuesday, April 7th is election day, so that is coming up with board members whose terms are up, but they are the only two people who are running. And Monday, April 13th is our next regularly scheduled board.
Any questions? All right. Executive session. Contemplated closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85. Considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation due by any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and Wisconsin stat 19.85(1)(e), deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public property to invest in public funds, or contracting others specified public businesses whenever competitive or bargaining is required in closed session. So we'll be working on the superintendent search to finalize offers from the interview, the superintendent's draft contract, and contract employment and superintendent goals and evaluation.
So moved.
Second.
I heard Joe and Rick. I will do a roll call. We'll start then. Yes.
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 And that's a yes.
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 All right, we are in the executive session.
Yes. I'm a yes too, Annette. Don't forget about me.
Yeah. Carrie was pointing and I missed it, sorry. Thank you.
Board members, don't forget to log out of the regular session